it's Michelle Evans here from michelleLevans.com. And I am talking today about pitching yourself to be a podcast guest like a pro. And really today we're going to focus on finding your ideal podcast, how to do searches to really narrow in on what's right for your audience, and then how to organize this so that you can pitch yourself fast. So, nobody can buy a secret. I say it all the time. So, the number one problem I hear from business owners all the time is I'm the best kept secret around. I'm so good at what I do, but I don't have enough potential clients to talk to. So, that's what we're talking about today, how to get your message out there quickly and for free, to be honest. Just a couple weeks ago, I pitched myself to over 30 podcast shows that have huge followings. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of downloads per episode. It took me about 3 hours to pitch myself to all 30, and I already have 6 booked sessions within just a couple weeks, and we had Christmas and New Year's in between there, so I'm imagining it's going to go up. And I have a couple more that I'm in contact with. So I want to help you do the same thing, and that's what today's video is about. So let's talk about how to take you from the best kept secret around to getting your message out there. So the first thing is really finding your ideal podcast. So I'm bringing up iTunes here, and I'm going to just scroll all the way to the bottom. So that's the iTunes. I think you can't see this. All the way at the very bottom, there's a thing that says podcast. I need to make this smaller so you can see it. And so I just click on podcasts, and then I see you can go to all categories. So this is the first thing, is to figure out what categories your ideal clients would be listening to. And I always say go beyond just what you do. So, I am primarily in business, but sometimes I want to talk about kids and family because I'm talking maybe to parents who are entrepreneurs. There can be all sorts of other things that I talk about, education. There's a few other areas that I could go to, but I'm just going to jump into business here. And once you get into your specific category or categories, you can see there's the new and noteworthy here. I'm going to try to make this smaller. I don't know why it's so ginormous right now. But anyway, I'm going to, there we go. So you can see there's new and noteworthy here. So these are all the podcasts that are less than 8 weeks old. You can see what's hot. These are some of the top podcasts that have been selected by iTunes to really highlight. And then you can see all the podcasts that are in this category. And if you just click on this See All, you're going to jump into literally hundreds, if not thousands of podcasts that you can go through. And you can just scroll through and find all sorts of different podcasts that you could connect with. And so what I do, I don't know, I'm just going to click on one here. So let's say that that I wanted to take a look at this just a moment for marketing one. And, you can go on here and you can see, well, I can see quickly that she does not have any podcast guests because it's all about Linda. So I would guess that's Linda. Yep, that's Linda. And so this just shows me quickly that I need to move on to another podcast because she doesn't take guests. So this is how I quickly go through and find some. Let's see if I can find one that takes guests really quick. I should have found one really quickly. Okay. So, you can see this one. So this podcast, Empowering Women, Transforming Lives, you can see that she's highlighting all sorts of different guests. So this is a good one to go to. And what I usually do is just right click on the website here and open it up, and then head on over to check out what it takes and if this would be a good potential podcast for me. So it's taking a moment to load here. But while we're waiting for this to load, a lot of times when you go to the website, they'll have, be a guest or pitch yourself as a guest or something like that. And you can also see, so right here you can see become a guest. And so you could just click on that and submit yourself as a guest if this is a good fit for you. So that's just a quick and down and dirty way to to get this quickly. But the thing is, okay, so here's the guest. So you can see there's a whole guest, fill out the form here. So this is just a really quick way to gather all the information, and it can really quickly add up and become overwhelming. And so what I do is I usually have this Excel spreadsheet that I do where I keep track of everywhere that I'm pitching. So I have the podcast name, when I submitted it, the website for the podcast. So I just went on this voiceamerica.com. So I'd keep that just so I could easily go back to it. I have the iTunes link, or if I find it on another place, I have that link. The contact URL or email, because some people want you to email them, some people want you to fill out a form, and then notes. So I, just keep notes about what the podcast is about any conversations I've had with that podcast owner. So this is sort of an all-in-one way for me to just quickly keep track of everything. And then when I go through and submit it, you can see I did a whole bunch of these submissions on December 11th. And then when I have one that's scheduled, I highlight it in green so I can go back and do that. And then if I have one that says, no, you're not a good fit for us, I highlight that in red. And if I have one that I'm working with to either refine my pitch or we're trying to find a time to get together, I put it in yellow so I can easily find all the people that I'm in connection with. So hopefully that helps you to organize it. Now, the last piece is, let's say you either can't really navigate iTunes very well, or you just want more places. I'm trying to make this smaller so you can see it. So, because there's other places besides iTunes where people have podcasts. And so a lot of times what I'll do is just type in like top business podcasts. And you can do it in iTunes for a specific year, a small business, top 10. I mean, there's like tons and tons of different ways that you can slice and dice this. But you can see, there's all sorts of, like let's check this one, 17 podcasts that'll make you smarter from Business Insider. So these are podcasts that are getting a lot of press. These are podcasts that probably have pretty good listenership. And you can see Business Insider did all the hard work, if it'll load up here. They did all the hard work of linking to all of them for me. So it's really, really easy to go find the one that that would fit for my audience. So I can just quickly, click on, I don't know why it keeps hanging up here, but I could quickly click on each of these, like fresh air. Well, I'm not really into stars and that kind of stuff. But if I was, I could just quickly go right here to any of these. So that's a really easy way to do it. But let's say I know I have people in my audience who, for example, are really into history. Or essential oils or writing. There's all sorts of different ones. And for some reason, Google's being slow here, but you could do, I'm just going to be patient for a minute. So best history, well, if I could spell, podcast, and you can see it pops right up. So you can find, if you're a history buff, like there's 19 history podcasts that will delight your brain. You could do best speaking podcasts. If you want to really dive into speaking, it even breaks it out by different languages. So there's that. You could do, let's say, best essential oil podcast. Because I know I have a couple people in my audience that sell essential oils. So you can see that there's, podcasts even for that. There are probably podcasts for any single niche that you really want to get into. And so I just encourage you to dive into this. And you can look here, you can look on iTunes, and you can look on any number of other platforms. But I wanted to make this quick video because it really is pretty fast and easy. It just takes a few hours of diving in to find the right people for you, and then you can pitch yourself and just imagine what being on 10, 15, 20 different podcasts in the next month would do for your traffic. It's incredible. So hopefully this helps you. Stay tuned and come on over to michellelevans.com for even more insights into how to go from a secret, the best kept secret around, to a sold out success. And be sure to join my free Facebook group, Tame the Marketing Monster, where we're talking even more about this in depth with all sorts of Q&A and everything else. All right, thanks so much for joining me today. Talk soon.